It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Saturday Travel and Cruise Industry News Update on this September 25th, 2021. It's National Lobster Day. Here's my recommendations for the day, folks. Things you need to do today. Take a trip to Maine. If you can't do that, have a lobster feast. If you can't do that, be like Hot Air Tom and wear a lobster costume when you go out to dinner tonight. How's that? In the news today, we got Hurricane Sam strengthening, Subtropical Teresa weakening, Quantum of the Seas and Royal Caribbean are tightening up some protocols. Grand Classica is back home. That's good. And some legal action against MSC that we're going to chat about a little bit, and that's bad. All right, that's going to cover everything this morning. Got a lot to cover without a whole lot of news. Quite frankly, not a great big news day. By the way, announcement, Cruise Amigos tomorrow will be live from the Sky Princess, assuming that the leisure travel agent of the year doesn't get too toasted tonight. He'll be coming to us live from the Sky Princess. I've also been in contact after, I can't tell you folks how many efforts that I've put into getting somebody to talk about travel insurance with us. I have been in contact with one of the insurance providers, and hopefully we'll have a representative of that provider on the Cruise Amigos tomorrow to talk about post-COVID travel insurance. So, and if it doesn't work out with his time schedule for tomorrow, then he's going to be on one day next week. But we're going to try to get it on tomorrow. So that's ahead with the Cruise Amigos tomorrow. All right, Hurricane Sam. It's almost a major hurricane. It will be a major hurricane probably at the next update. Let's see. I don't know if they made an update this morning before I went on. Let's check it and see. Sam 11. No, it's still 120. So it is just shy of a major hurricane. So that probably will change during the day, and Sam will become a major hurricane. The last numbers that I had on it, it's located about 1,150 miles east-southeast of the northern Leeward Islands. Sustained winds, they just announced 120 miles an hour. It's moving west-northwest at 13. Pressure's dropped down to 973, folks. So this has got some room to grow. Additional strengthening is forecast. Some Sam is expected to become a major hurricane later today. Sam is a small, geographically small hurricane. Hurricane force winds extend outward about 15 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds only go about 60 miles. So it's not a real big geographic storm. It has, all indications are it's going to slow down to a crawl. See where it's located right now? Over there, getting toward the Leeward Islands. The cone of uncertainty, if you look at this, that's where it is today at the start of that. The end of that, as you see, it's not quite up north of the Leeward Islands. And that is 2 a.m. Thursday. This sucker is just going to crawl. So we're going to have to put up with Sam for a while. All right, subtropical storm Teresa remains poorly organized, expected to become a remnant low by tonight. So that'll be gone by tomorrow. Clearly won't be around on Monday. It's about 155 miles north-northwest of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds 40 miles an hour. It's moving to the west-northwest, 6 miles an hour, minimum pressure 1,009. So it's not going to go much anywhere. One of the news stories of the day is out of Singapore. Royal Caribbean has informed guests booked on the Quantum of the Seas on protocol changes after authorities in the country tightened restrictions due to a surge in COVID cases. With a surge in cases in Singapore, the government has announced further restrictions that will be in effect from September 27th through October 24th. As a result, Royal Caribbean has tightened its protocols to ensure it falls in line and keeps guests protected for Quantum of the Seas. All guests are required to remain in groups of 2 while enjoying onboard public spaces, including restaurants and theaters. Families from the same household may have more than 2 guests in their stateroom, but must adhere to groups of 2 while in public spaces. Dining in restaurants is only available if all guests are vaccinated. Unvaccinated children under 12 may be included in the group of 2 if from the same household. That was one of the questions I had. First thing that jumped out, but well, what if you got 1 kid, which would be 3? Well, if they're under 12, they can, I guess you can have a group of 3. But what happens if they're 13? So, I'm not sure I totally understand all this stuff. Dining in our restaurants is not available for unvaccinated guests over the age of 12. Oh. So if you can't even, if you're unvaccinated over the age of 12, you can't even go in the dining room. Room service and takeaway options will be provided. In addition to a negative PCR test for COVID-19, the cruise line has implemented ART testing at the terminal as part of the check-in process. This provides an additional layer of safety, which is also deemed as PET testing, pre-event testing, to enable unvaccinated guests to dine in restaurants on the first night of the cruise. Quantum of the Seas sailings are only available to residents of Singapore, which has been the case ever since the cruise ships restarted operations from the country at the end of 2020. Cruises have been available for guests who are not fully vaccinated, but there are different protocols on board depending on the status. All guests must provide their vaccination status via the Trace Together app or provide a hard copy of their vaccination card supplied by the authorities. It's essential to know that the wristband that differentiates vaccinated and non-vaccinated guests will still be used on board. With the new limit of groups on board, guests do have the option to cancel their voyage and receive a future cruise credit to be used on sailings departing through December of 22. So that's over there in Asia. Interesting that they've had to do some real serious tightening of their protocols when other cruise lines are loosening protocols and getting in a bad space. All right, the one good news story today, the Grand Classica, operated by Florida-based Bahama Paradise Cruise Line, is back home after being used to house workers in New Orleans. The vessel will restart its cruise operations tomorrow. So that, of course, sails out of West Palm Beach, goes over to Freeport in the Bahamas. All right. There's a group of the folks who were on board the Virtuoso have contacted and engaged an attorney over there and are looking at filing suit against MSC. Now, let me point out, first of all, folks, I have tried to look at this situation as fair and balanced as I can, unlike Jim Walker, who is automatically against MSC. I do know a number of this group are feeding Walker with information, which is unfortunate because he's going to be anti everything to do with MSC. I am no expert on UK law, know next to nothing about it. So as far as is this a good legal case or is it not, what kind of position it is, I have not a clue. But basically, the legal issue that they're going to be dealing with against MSC and the MSC Virtuoso is that MSC was in breach of contract as they did not provide the holiday that the guests purchased, which included safe, COVID secure environment. Now, in a worldwide pandemic, I don't think anything can be a safe, COVID secure environment. Again, I don't know the legal situation in the UK. This will be filed both in England and in Scotland, I understand. I don't know what is important over there and what is not. On the side of the of the folks that are bringing this lawsuit, MSC, in my opinion, let their guard down. They started off doing things right on the Virtuoso and a number of other ships. And for at least a couple cruises on the Virtuoso, they let the protocols slide with social distancing, with masking, with and it was the same time that they were increasing the percentage of capacity on the ships. Now, I understand the importance for the cruise lines to get the capacity up so they can eventually make money again. But I don't think right now, in the middle of the pandemic as it is the time to slack off on any of the protocols. And that is where I think MSC was in the wrong. Furthermore, their lack of transparency, both on the ship to the guests on board, the treatment of the guests on board who tested positive, and clearly any transparency to the public was definitely lacking from MSC. Does that mean that I don't want to cruise on MSC? No, it does not. It means that I think on those couple cruises, the MSC Virtuoso let their guards down and got their butt in a ringer and didn't handle it very well, and still aren't handling it very well. I've tried to get somebody from MSC to appear on this channel to talk about it with some of the folks that are lodging these complaints against them, and they have declined the chance to sit down and talk about it. So that's an issue that's going to be continued. I'm sorry that it has gotten to the point of folks filing legal action. I know there's a couple deaths that have occurred to passengers after they left the Virtuoso. Just not a good situation. So, all right. This was a relatively soft news day. There wasn't a whole lot out there, guys. I'm going to tell you just like it was. Not a whole lot of action. We don't have any major, restarts this weekend like we've had the last few weekends. Other than our buddies down there at Bahamas Paradise, finally going to get restarted tomorrow. So good for them, the little cruise line that could. So, all right, let's go see who's with us today. It's Saturday, so probably not a whole lot. Carol's with us, Nikki's with us, Emily's with us. Everybody says, hey. Emily says, I came in to say hi for a minute because my cousin is having a Zoom for her birthday in a bit. Who kept Zoom anymore? Yeah, Zoom's, matter of fact, I did a Zoom call with my biographer the other night. We did about an hour Zoom call. So yeah, it's still out there. I don't use it much, but anyway. Nikki says she can't get to Bahada in time, so we're going to go out for lobster. Good for you, Nikki. I wish I could go get some. I'm not even sure there's any lobster anywhere in Lynchburg. There may be there's one seafood house over on the other side of town. I don't even remember seeing lobster on their menu when I've been there in the past. And I'm not going out to restaurants again. So until all the numbers are looking a little bit better. They keep getting better every day. Slightly, not much, but just a little bit. But I'm not back to the point where I'm going to be comfortable enough to go out to eat again for a while yet. So, all right, that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. Sorry it was a short news day. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, thanks for being with me. Appreciate a thumbs up, always. That helps the channel a lot. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. It does help the channel a lot. Plus, if you do the bell notification thingy, it'll let you know when I go live or when I post a video. Even I think it lets you know when I post my little silly short thingies that I do that are providing me with a lot of traffic. They really are little short videos, shorts less than a minute. I'm doing a series right now on the 50 most popular national parks in the U.S. And it's getting a lot of traffic. And that's where a lot of the new subscribers to this channel have been coming from. So welcome aboard. Some of you along the way will find out that we talk about cruises and travel and all sorts of things here, and join us. And you can always join the guys in the chat room. They always keep some conversations going. So it's going to wrap me up for the weekend, guys. You guys have a terrific weekend. Hope to see you on Cruise Amigos tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which will be live from the Sky Princess over there someplace in the UK waters. And hopefully live from wherever this insurance guy is from. I don't even know where he's from yet. But hopefully we'll get that set up. I'm really looking forward to talking about post-COVID travel insurance and how it needs to change and what you need to have included in your travel insurance policies. So hopefully that will be tomorrow. Anyway, you guys have a terrific weekend. I'll see everybody either tomorrow at 2 p.m. or on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Monday Travel and Cruise Industry News. For now, this is the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.